press the button. All right, we are live. It's Nicholas Atkin and Tom Taylor on the South China Morning Post, SCMP Martial Arts, coming to you live from the decrepit hovel in Hong Kong and Tom's apartment in Ottawa, which I think is a lot nicer than mine. How is everything going, Tom?
No? This place is a dumpster too, man. I think
Okay.
we're living in similar environs. Things are good though, man. You know, it's nice that it's a one championship fight week again. We got something to talk about. Got some fights to unpack and break down. Not the greatest card in the history of one championship. I think we can probably agree on that, but it's not a bad one to come back to.
Good to catch up with you again. I think it's been a while since we did this. I'm trying to remember, but we had Shannon lined up. I did have Shannon's name in the title. We were expected to have Shannon Wirchai, who was so much fun a couple of weeks ago, but Shannon has a little bit of an emergency with the vet. He's got to go to the vet, so hope everything's okay with the dog. So it's just Tom and myself riding solo, or a duo, a formidable duo, I would like to say.
Very formidable.
We're here. Yeah, we're going to talk about 159, which is coming up on Friday night. It's been a long time, Tom, as you said, since we had a fight card. I'm just excited. I can't wait. I can't remember the last time we sat down and actually watched some fights in one. It seems like it's been 7 weeks. Is that the right?
It's been well over a month, right? I mean, that last card was that super forgettable one with Tawanchai in the main event. You know, some good fights on that one certainly, but a bit of a dud of a card. So it doesn't really stand out in the memory anyway, right? It's not like it was 1X that was the last event. It was kind of a forgettable one too. So it really does feel like it's been a long time since we've had like some big one championship fights. And I don't know if this card this Friday qualifies as a blockbuster necessarily, but the main event's certainly exciting. There's some interesting fights kind of peppered throughout the bill. So yeah, I mean, it's just nice to have fights to talk about again. Really, it doesn't even really matter if they're good or bad at this point.
Yes, this damn light's in my face. I'm gonna have to turn it sideways like The Rock.
All
right, that's a little bit better. It's blinding me.
I'm
still sunburned. I got major sunburn. You may see still. I went to the beach about a week ago, and just got horrifically burnt all over my body, everywhere. Classic white man in Asia vibe.
Oh yeah.
Peeling, blistering, still recovering. And then still recovering from my concussion issues, which that's why we didn't do it last week, actually, because I did it 2 weeks ago with Shannon, but I'd just been in this class where I got kneed in the head, and I think the adrenaline got me through, Tom. I was excited to speak to the fans. We had a really good show, obviously, a lot of people tuning in, but the next day I felt horrendous, and I've actually been off work mostly for the last 2 weeks, just with I've got a fuzzy head. I feel like DJ, I got hit full on Adriana Mariah style with a knee to the head. I've just been groggy, and it's the first time I've ever, first and last perhaps, that I would maybe dabble in combat sports. I think I'm just meant to be a writer, Tom.
There's no shame in that, man. We can't all be world champions,
I thought I could unleash my greatness.
Well, I get real life superhero vibes from you, but maybe I was wrong. Maybe you're not cut out for the biggest stage. I can be a
superhero in a different way. It's fine.
Exactly.
I'll just do it from behind the safety of a computer.
Oh yeah, maybe, no knees coming at you that way.
But what annoys me, I picked the safest, I thought, martial art in terms of I'm not going to get hit in the head.
Yeah,
some guy smashed me. Anyway, we're here. We've already got our first comment. Big up John KL in the chat saying there's a big one presser they're doing in LA a few hours. What's happening there? Well, Tom, I think you got invited to that. I was not there.
I wasn't invited. No, I mean, I was sent a press release the same as everybody else. But if I could have got down to LA on a few days' notice, I would have gone. But the information didn't reach me until it was a little bit too late. So fortunately, not there in person. But yeah, it looks like a pretty cool little press conference they've got going down there. DJ Adriana will be there. I think Angela will be there. I think Stamp and Superbond randomly are going to be they've got some. They've got
in Stamp and Superbond. I love it.
Yeah, which is cool. I guess they're really this press conference is to kind of big up the deal with Amazon Prime, right? So I guess they're really trying to push some of these fighters from the Asian markets and introduce them to American fans right out of the gate. I don't know. That's the only reason I can think of that they would have brought Superbond and Stamp, unless they're announcing fights for them or something. That would be cool.
Who knows? What's the rest of the lineup? I saw Mikey Musumeci's there.
Buchecha is going to be there. I think it's mainly just like, DJ and Adriano, and then a couple of the big names, Stamp and Angela, and then whoever's just like nearby or, American.
I saw Eddie Alvarez is there, right?
Right. Yeah. But, he's in the right country. At least he doesn't have to fly from Asia.
Well, that's positive. Perhaps they might announce an Eddie Alvarez fight, which we've been hoping to hear about for a long time.
Yeah.
I'm just going to throw it to you. A little fireball question here. Yeah, if you can match make one fight for Eddie Alvarez right now, who are you doing and when?
Well, I mean, in like a perfect world where I have ultimate power, I would just book him for a title shot. Like I just, at this point, I'm kind of tired of talking about Eddie fighting for a one championship title. Tired of talking about him fighting Christian or Okra Yoon or whoever. I just kind of want to get it over with at this point, and see if he can win the title or not. But obviously that's not possible. We got this big lightweight title rematch coming up. So, barring that, I think the best option would be that new Russian Segid maybe. But
I don't want to see that.
Yeah, see, that's the thing. Like in terms of like the rankings and Eddie trying to legitimize his claim to a title shot, that's the kind of win he needs. But in terms of like the fights he should be taking right now, that's not it, right? I mean, I'd rather see him fight somebody like an Ev Ting or Ariel Sexton's coming back, fighting Gafarov this week at lightweight. He could fight the winner of that one. Those guys are kind of both in his, both of his vintage, I'll say. They've been around the block. These are the guys he needs to be fighting.
Yeah, we talked about it, I think, last time out with Shannon. With Lapicus bizarrely going up to welterweight, I thought Eddie was nailed on to have a rematch with Lapicus, given the way the fight went down, obviously, with the no contest. Mm-hmm. I thought you've got a built-in story for a rematch there. And Lapicus still had a high enough ranking, whereas if Eddie got a win over him, he immediately puts himself straight in line for a title shot with the winner of Oak and Christian. So don't know what's going on there. But then we've also heard kind of rumors that maybe Eddie's going in a featherweight. This was rumors which were stoked, I may say, by Martin Nguyen.
That's the perfect fight. Yeah. If he can get down to featherweight, I mean, that just makes all the sense in the world. Martin's obviously had that win over the Ukrainian recently, but still kind of on a bit of a skid. You've got those knockout losses in the rearview mirror there that people still remember. Eddie obviously has struggled too. You got two guys who have accomplished a lot, who are struggling a bit, kind of, perhaps near the tail ends of their careers. I don't know how close Martin is, but, he's getting there too. That seems like a perfect fight to me. It makes sense for both guys. It's winnable for both guys. It's valuable for both guys. It makes a lot more sense than giving Eddie some, young killer, but we'll see what happens, I guess.
I'm getting harangued in the comments here to bring up the comments by Ong. Bring up the comments. All right, bring up the comments. Give Eddie an easy win, says Ong, then smash him. I don't know. I think it's in one's interest to get Eddie a win, and then you can set up that. I still think the Christian Lee fight, I was saying with Shannon, is the one for Eddie, whether he wins or loses the title.
Yeah.
Almost saying there's too few one events. Yeah, we were just talking about that. It's been a long time. Finally, I think in a couple of days, we're going to have some action. Can't wait to see it. Segid against Oak. What do you think? Best takedown guy versus best takedown defense guy. I think, it depends obviously on Christian and Oak, and Segid needs another fight for me before he fights a champion or the number one contender. Agreed?
Yeah. I think, Segid's a bit far off from a title shot just yet, but that fight seems like it'll probably happen fairly soon. Obviously it depends on what happens with Oak. I don't see Oak retaining the title in this rematch personally, but yeah.
Okay. Well, maybe we'll save that. Yeah. All right. Aren't any more comments? We're up to date, so we maybe dive into this card. I'm gonna bring it up with my technological wonder here on the screen.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. One Championship website. It's looking good. 159 De Ridder versus Bigdash tomorrow night, 6:30 p.m. Singapore time. Singapore Indoor Stadium. It is going to be, sadly, Tom, another empty arena show, which I'm still upset about. It's not. I thought we're past that.
So did I.
But one more I'll take. Fine, as long as we consign this period of history to the past, and
let's consign it.
We put it in a safe bin, an aluminium bin, and we can burn it safely with a fire hydrant in hand in case the flames get too high. Safety first, guys.
Safety first. Yeah, that's it's very good of you.
That's what I'm all about. Okay. All right. Main event. My man RDR is back against Vitaly Bigdash. I think we've known this is going to happen for a while, right? Because De Ridder smashed Cameron Abasov, to be honest, retained the middleweight belt. Bigdash beat Onglar in their trilogy fight. I think it was on the same card, so yeah, it
Was it
was
the same card? Yeah,
February,
yeah.
full circle. So we've known since February this fight's going to happen. Then a little wrench got thrown in there with the Russian invasion of Ukraine. Singapore wasn't allowing, I hope I'm getting this right, please don't sue me, Russian fighters to compete on one championship cards. I think that's correct. Allegedly, I'll throw that out there to protect myself. So Bigdash against de Ridder is finally happening. It looks like, well, it's evident that they have relaxed that rule, whoever made that. We're going to have it. How do you see it going, Tommy? Because de Ridder has really distanced himself, I think, from the pack. He's not got many challenges in one. He's kind of handily beat Onglar twice. He beat Leandro. Bigdash is kind of the one remaining. Abasov, who was welterweight champ, obviously, but Bigdash is the one guy who is still there. Former champion, obviously, got that revenge over Onglar, and I think this is obviously the fight to make. This is the big moment for de Ridder if he beats Bigdash, and he's essentially done at middleweight, isn't he?
Yeah, to me, this is like the last credible challenge in the division as it currently exists for de Ridder. You know, if they sign a bunch of new guys, then obviously there'll be some new fresh contenders for him. And there are guys that could work their way up to a title shot. But at the moment, Bigdash is the last guy who is anywhere near a title shot at middleweight, right? So for me, this fight is him kind of like clearing out the division. And then after this, you have to think that it's light heavyweight and heavyweight fights because there's nobody really in his division that's going to challenge him at this point.
There's nobody in light heavyweight either.
Well, there's just flatly nobody in that division, right? That's not a question of opposition. It's like there's like 6 guys in that weight class. But I'd like to see him go up to heavyweight. Like, why not? He's dominating these guys in the weight classes where he has titles. There's nothing else to do with him. I think this could be the fight that sort of springboards him into the kind of zany, wild fights that he's been asking for with the Arjun Bulars and Buchecha and all this stuff. That's my take on this one. But I think he should win it, I think at this point he's proven that he's got the skills to beat pretty much anybody on the ground. And in terms of the striking, he may it's dangerous to strike with a guy like Bigdash, obviously. It's dangerous to strike with any middleweight, but I think de Ridder's good enough on the feet now. He's trained with enough good guys. Musasi, obviously, he went to Sanford MMA and all these places in the States. I mean, his hands are good enough that he should be able to survive any trouble on the feet. I think he should win this one pretty clearly.
Well, Bigdash, we saw what he did against Onglar. The plan was takedowns all day long. He's not going to get a takedown on de Ridder, pretty sure. And I think it's interesting because is de Ridder going to stay on the feet? Is de Ridder going to take him down? I'm intrigued. It's a fight I want to see. I'm going to pick de Ridder. I'm going to ask you, Tom, for a prediction.
Yeah, I'll go de Ridder. I mean, I think probably he'll finish him. Maybe I don't think he'll submit him. I can see him kind of like maybe wearing him out and TKOing him or something like that. But
I see it as another step on this Reinier de Ridder hype train. All aboard, woo woo! I think we're going to get another impressive win, and he's going to further underline his status. I think as the pound for pound best, perhaps in one championship, and
for sure,
one of the best real middleweights in the world. So. Excited to see it though. Main event, co-main event. Janet Todd and Lara Fernandez, as you can see there, interim atomweight Muay Thai World Championship. Plenty to unpack here, Tom. I don't know where to start. Mainly, we have frustrations about, Janet's not defended the Muay Thai title. The kickboxing title she won off Stan Fairtex 2.5 years ago. That to me is a more pressing concern than making an interim atomweight Muay Thai belt against someone, Lara Fernandez, who I just don't think you can really credibly put up as a challenger to Janet Todd, who has, Janet Todd is a worthy champion to get this shot if you're going to do it. But I'm totally not on board with this fight. What's your immediate thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, it's to me, it's always weird optics when you sign somebody and just give them a title shot right away. If it's somebody that most people haven't heard of, it's not like they're signing some former UFC champion and giving them a title shot or a Bellator champion or something like that. This is, one from Spain that people who don't follow the striking arts have never heard of before. And here she is challenging Janet Todd for a title. to me, that kind of like takes some credence away from the matchup, right? Because like you said, Janet is the kickboxing champion. She's got her credentials. It's not hard to argue that she deserves this opportunity, but it's just such a weird fight. Like why this matchup? You know, why there's so many other options that they could have went with, and maybe Lara will surprise everybody and win this title. That would certainly throw an interesting twist into the plans. But it's not a perfect fight, but it should be good. Yeah. I was watching some tape on Lara the other day. I don't think she's going to win. That was my takeaway.
Yeah, I'm with you, Tom. I just find it a little bit random. We know the elephant in the room is that Anissa Mexen is calling for a kickboxing title shot with Janet Todd, and those calls seem to just be going unheard of. And we've got to address it. I think it's just a bizarre situation where you have the best female striker maybe on the planet, or one of them pound for pound. You've signed her to your organization, and that's the kind of person you throw straight into a title fight like this. Not with no disrespect meant to Lara Fernandez. You've got the resume there with Anissa Mexen. No introduction needed. 18 world titles. She's and we know she's frustrated. She puts it on social media constantly, and fair play. She should be upset. She should be getting. I think I want to see Janet Todd against Anissa Mexen in kickboxing for the title. I don't. I know Janet wants to be a 2-weight world champion. Fine, but to me, you've got a more pressing matter to defend that belt you won 2.5 years ago. I just don't understand this matchmaking. It makes no sense to me.
That's the other problem, right? Is like even if you take Anissa out of the equation, Janet still hasn't defended that title in ages, right? It's just not good to have a champion sitting on a division like that. And it's not like it's a super stacked division where there's a like long queue of people waiting for a title shot. But it is nice to keep these things moving and watch titles change hands and champions defend their belts. And it's like she won that title and then the division kind of just ceased to exist almost. There have been a few fights in that division, but with no title fights in the division, it's stripped of all its luster, right? There's nothing to fight for. So it's silly to me that title hasn't been defended, that they've got Anissa waiting around, obviously. An interim Muay Thai title fight. We have no real information on when Alicia Rodriguez is coming back. It's just kind of a weird situation. It seems very haphazard. But let's just try to enjoy the fight, right? It's a Muay Thai title fight. It's not going to be that bad. How bad can it be?
I'm sure it's going to be good. Janet Todd is a KO artist, some spectacular finishes.
And none of this is her fault either, I don't think. I don't think she's sitting at home, ducking calls from Chatri and, burning contracts to fight Anissa Mexen and stuff like that. I think it's just it's probably a complicated situation with a lot of different people involved, and unfortunately she's taking a lot of the hate, I think, because Anissa's been so vocal about everything. But I don't think it's Janet's fault the way that things have happened.
All right, well, have a quick look at some of these comments. A lot of comments here. I'll try and get through them all. Let me just. I gotta like read them before I keep putting them on screen before I actually. Heard Reinier is back last time. So this is the Ridder. Ong says Ridder is back. He's got some hair. Last time with hair, he almost lost. Has he got hair? Or is that just the picture?
I think that maybe just be the thumbnail they're using, but
it could just be the studio shot they got from him before. Ong also points out that Abasov has better grappling than Bigdash. See what RDR did to him. I think this is going to be an easy win for RDR. I do. I don't. We make predictions. We put ourselves on the fence. We don't put ourselves on the fence. I like to go with the prediction. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I'm not an expert, but I do think RDR is going to win. Only advantage of Bigdash. If Abasov is stronger and probably faster. Ong's got like a big breakdown here in the comments, so go check out Ong's breakdown of how he thinks that fight's going to go. If you think he's wrong, reply to him in the comments. Yeah, let's get a bit of conversation going. Okay. Ernesto here saying we need more women's fights scheduled. Too long a break between the lady fights. Let's see more Iman Barlow, Muay Thai, Danielle Kelly grappling. Well, Ernesto, I think Iman Barlow is this is a weird bit of knowledge I now have. She's in Alabama and Birmingham in the US. She's taking part in the World Games. They have a Muay Thai competition there. I'm not sure if she won her first fight. or it might all be over already. I don't know what happened there, but we had a Hong Kong fighter there, and I know that Iman Barlow was there, so Iman's a little busy, but yeah, I thought she made a really good impression in her first fight in one, and I'm sure she'll be back soon. Danielle Kelly, I'm sure she'll be back soon as well. Tom, um, she got the bonus obviously last time out.
Yeah.
It is a situation though where you still having these cards where they sort of only have one fight with women in it. I think I'm looking down this card. There are two here. We got one on the lead card, the prelims, and one on the main card. So
Yeah, and there was one women's belt canceled yesterday, that the Jessica grappling match. So there was one more originally on the bill than they have now.
yeah, run us through a little bit because there were some cancellations, right? Could you just tell everyone in case people don't know? Because it did one. I find they don't do a great job of telling everyone the updates.
I'll try to remember everything off the top of my head. Islam Murtazayev is out of the fight with Sinsamut Klinmi. Klinmi's fighting. Who was it? Jamal Yusupov, I think is the name. I can't remember the name. I remember the guy, but not the name. And then the Jessica fight, her opponent was forced out of the fight. So that fight is scratched now. They didn't find a replacement. And there was two others canceled, or one other canceled too. I can't remember what it was. Not a huge one. It was just an undercard fight. And then they also added Joe Nadawut and who the hell is he fighting?
Smoking Joe.
Or maybe he's fighting Jamal. I can't remember. I got the matchups all mixed up. But yeah, there have been a few little changes. nothing significant though. But they did add Smoking Joe to the lineup.
I'm presuming the website has the updated lineup.
Yeah, if you scroll down, Smoking Joe is in the last fight of the lead card now, I think.
Okay, yeah, Smoking Joe.
Yeah,
Jamal,
he's fighting Jamal. Oh, and Liam Nolan. Liam, obviously, yeah. Okay. Yeah.
So Liam got a bit of a beating last time out. Am I getting this wrong?
I think he won his last fight. I can't remember. But Sinsamut had that fight with
smashed,
Nikki Holskin. Yeah.
Yes, of course.
I imagine if he wins that fight, he'll probably get a title shot in kickboxing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
But
still good lineup.
Yeah, that Jessica fight fell off the bill because her opponent, I think, had an injury or something, or health problems. I can't remember what the reason was. Okay. But that was unfortunate because the reason I bring that up is because Jessica beat Danielle Kelly in a grappling match last year, I think. It was a kind of a close match too. And so there's sort of, I think, some history there. Danielle Kelly kind of wants to get that one back. And I think this is just, I'm purely speculating, but I think one was kind of hoping Jessica would win the fight this Friday, and I think she would have. And then they could have set up the little rematch between Danielle and Jessica. And then obviously you've got the Angela fight there for Danielle too.
Check it out, scmp.com/MMA. Tom read a story about this. Angela Lee and Danielle having a little bit of back and forth about a potential matchup. I like it.
I think that's going to happen sooner or later. And I also I was just thinking about this the other day. I think one will probably sooner or later do an atomweight submission grappling tournament because there's enough women, I think, in that weight class, not just on their roster currently, but women they can sign that they could fill a tournament. Maybe throw Angela in there too, just to add some some name value, some oomph. And then, get like 8 women and you could do it all in one night too, because it's submission grappling. People aren't getting knocked out and stuff, right? So just have like a one-night tournament to crown the atomweight submission grappling champ. I can see something like that happening. Yeah. With Danielle and Jessica and Angela. Yeah.
All right. A couple of comments I'll get through quickly. We'll go back to the card. Oh, asking what's going on with Ellen Nalani. I don't know. That's the honest answer.
Was it Thomas Narmo, the last Viking?
The last Viking.
That's the guy he was kicking in the groin, right?
Yeah.
Right in the last Vikings.
Look, Alan is a free spirit. He does what he wants. He's an enigma. I don't even know if he's in Hong Kong at the moment, but he's in our hearts if he's not, definitely.
The champion of our hearts.
Yeah. RDR win by submission, says Neto Velasquez. I could see RDR just submitting Bigdash. I think RDR is going to win. DJ, too early to fight Adriano asks Ong. I would like to see DJ maybe get another win first because, he had the win over Rod Tang, but that was kind of like a special attraction fight. Obviously, mixed rules. I think DJ maybe should get another win over a top 5 in flyweight before they pull the trigger on the rematch. But, it is what it is. You can't argue with the resume of the GOAT, can you, Tom?
You can't, and that's the thing. Well, I mean, he could have fought somebody else, but would it really have changed all that much? Like if he went and beat somebody we knew he was going to beat, I just feel like this is the thing to do. People want to see this rematch. If you book other fights for both guys, you risk losing the rematch. And it's hard to argue with DJ's resume at this point, right? Like at this point in his career, a lot of the opportunities he's getting are not because of the win streak he's on currently, but just because of what he's accomplished already in the sport. But that is an interesting point, though, because the fight happened just over a year ago. DJ spent a lot of that time preparing for Rod Tang, not working on his grappling, presumably, working on his Muay Thai. How much could he have really... He hasn't had a lot of time to prepare for Adriano, I guess, is the problem, right? Like he's been busy with other things. And he lost that first fight pretty decisively. People fixate on the knockout, but he lost the first round too. Like he was losing that fight until he was knocked out. So he has some big adjustments to make, and it's going to be interesting to see if he can make those adjustments in such a short time. So maybe it is too early. I don't know.
All right, what next for Ongla says end of begin and Teal Tang. Ongla's got the Yushin Akami fight still. I don't know about Teal Tang. I think
Teal Tang was my
was
buddy
lined up.
Muhammad Ayman was saying that he's been offered that fight a few times over the last year, and that he's still hoping for that one. Like he said that one had actually approached him with that, and he just wasn't ready to take it. So maybe that's one they're looking at.
Yeah, Teal's always game to fight. He's not a shrinking violet. He'll take on anyone, so that could happen.
Mm-hmm.
Here we go. Tang versus Tanley predictions. Us on. I've said Tanley ever since that fight was booked. I think Tom's on the same wavelength as me.
Yeah, I mean, this is what I said last time. At this point, I'm not picking anybody in one over Tanley, but there's always the caveat that he is 36 now, right? And you just don't know when the age is going to catch up with people, and oftentimes it happens between one fight and the next. It's like a switch going off. So as long as this isn't the fight where Tanley starts to look like a shop-worn 36-year-old, then I think he wins handily. That's the prediction.
Okay, back to the card. We'll break down a few more of these fights. We're going to be here for another half an hour or so. We're just keeping it to an hour today. All right, we're done the co-main and the main. Bokeng Masinyane back. Strawweight fight against Hiroba Minowa. So both guys here have lost to Jared Brooks in the last 6 months or whatever it is. And what annoys me, I'm happy to see them both fight, of course. But you gotta have Jared Brooks against Joshua Pasio before this fight happens. How can you have two of the guys Jared beat fight each other before my man, the Monkey God, gets his title shot? It makes no sense.
That's frustrated. That's exactly it, man. And it's not just that he's beaten them both. It's that he beat Bokong in a number one contender fight. Like that fight was supposed to get him the title shot, right? And now the fact that Bokong, the guy that lost the number one contender fight, is fighting before the title shot happens. It's just like, I mean, it's all out of whack, right? This is not the way it was supposed to happen. We're supposed to be watching Joshua Pasio and Jared Brooks fight, which is such an incredible matchup for so many reasons. But it's always nice to see Bokong in the cage, particularly after he had that huge layoff, before the Jared Brooks fight. It's nice that he's able to stay active now. This is an awesome fight between a really good wrestler and a really slick grappler. I have no idea who's going to win, honestly. I mean, if I had to pick, maybe Bokong by decision or something, but I really don't know. It's a tough fight, man, and the winner could be next for a title shot.
I'm with you. I'm glad both guys are getting back in there. I want to see it, but yeah, just made a little bit by the. Well, yeah, I want to see that title fight.
Mm-hmm.
Let's get it on. What's the holdup? Maybe it's going to be added to 160 or 161. I don't know. Maybe they're holding it back for 162, but
I think that must be it. Yeah,
just get these fights going. I think we all know that's the fight. And poor old Joshua Pasio, he's sitting there watching everyone else in his division get booked, and he's got to just stay at home, dust that belt, keep it shiny, get ready to defend it. I want to see Joshua back in action. Joshua wants to get back in action. Jared Brooks has steamrolled through that division, and he's done it with ease, and he's barely taken a scratch. So we need to see that fight. Let's hope it's soon. Anyway, anything else here you want to pick out, Tom? I'm just gonna.
It's always fun to watch Muang Thai fight.
It is.
He just lost to what am I drawing a blank on here? Who did he just fight? He had.
I'm drawing a blank too. The two experts here in the chat.
Yeah.
Anyone, let us know. But yeah,
it's kind of a rough card. Eh? It's like once you get into those top few fights. Oh, he just fought Liam Harrison. What am I?
Yeah, okay.
Obviously, yeah.
The crazy fight.
Yeah. No, I knew he had a crazy fight. I was trying to remember what happened.
I'm surprised he's back. That was May.
Yeah, I remember when I saw this matchup announced too. I was like, this seems pretty soon because it's not just that he was knocked out; he had the 3 knockdowns to lose, right? So that's conceivably 3 concussions in one fight. That's pretty quick to get back in there. But presumably he's been thoroughly examined and given a clean bill of health. But if we scroll down the bill a little bit past the Muang Thai fight and the strawweight kickboxing fight, starts to get a little bit interesting again. Daniel Williams is fighting. He wanted a ranked opponent, and I think he's right on the cusp of the strawweight rankings. If he wins this one, I think that they have no choice but to give him someone in the top 5. He's been asking for someone in the top 5. All of his fights are really fun because he comes from Muay Thai, right? So he's got that kind of fun, like all-action striking style. And I think if he wins this one, he'll be a contender, and we'll be talking about him, fighting for the title in the next year or so, provided he can keep winning. So that's a good one. And it should be a lot of fun, too. These strawweight fights are always fun these days.
Yeah, Zhang Peimian, I'm pronouncing that wrong probably. He obviously, made a big splash. I think one of their big prospects coming out of China, strawweight kickboxing fight against Aslanbek Zakriev. He had his debut, I think, earlier this year. Very impressive. So I'll be keeping my eye on that for sure. As you said, Joe Naderwood against Jamal Yusupov now on that lead card. Sinsa Mert and Liam Nolan.
That'll be a good one,
yeah. Some reshuffling here. An interesting one here. Ariel Sexton back finally.
That's honestly outside of the main event. That might be the fight on the card I'm most excited to see. Ariel Sexton's one of my guys. He's Canadian, but he's also Costa Rican. I love Costa Rica. I love everyone from Costa Rica. Like if someone's from Costa Rica, I immediately support them in whatever they do. It's just a great place full of nice people. So yeah, he's my guy. And he hasn't fought in a million years. He had that great win over Amir Khan in the lightweight Grand Prix. And I think he broke his arm or something, like had a cast and everything, and recovered from that, obviously, but then just didn't get back in there. He, went to New York to train for a while. I think that's where he's based now. And I tried to get an interview from him through one. I've interviewed him a few times before just to kind of get to hear his story. Like where have you been? What have you been up to? And unfortunately, couldn't make it happen this time around. So it's still a mystery as to what he's been doing since his arm healed and why he spent so long away from the cage. A little unfortunate though, because after that win over Amir Khan, he was one of the top contenders in the division. Another win, he would have fought for the title, and he's definitely lost his position having been away for so long. But if he can beat Gafarov, who's a former champion at featherweight, obviously he'll be right back in the picture, I think. And I don't know if he's going to be contending for the title at any point. He's getting up there, but it's just good to have him back because he's a fun fighter, cool guy, and that's a great matchup between 2 awesome grapplers.
Yes, Tom, I remember the first time I met you in Tokyo, a new era. You were banging on about Ariel Sexton and Lowen Tainanas. You never shut up since about how great they were and how sad you've been that they were gone. And we saw Lowen Tainanas come back. And
against Gafarov, actually.
Against Gafarov, yeah. Gafarov seems to be like the weird gatekeeper against former successful lightweights. So hopefully it goes better for Ariel Sexton. Like you said, I don't really know what's going on with Lowen either.
I think he may be kind of just done, unfortunately. I'm speculating, but he had that comeback fight. He's had these like horrible back issues, I think, right?
Yeah.
And so I think maybe he had the comeback fight with Gafarov and he lost that one, and it's hard not to get the sense that maybe that was like a test run and he was like, this just isn't possible with the injuries. I don't know.
Yeah, that Grand Prix was very stacked. The whole division was stacked.
Yeah. That was amazing.
Yeah, hopefully Ariel can just show something good. Gafarov's no pushover though. We know that.
No, it's a tough fight to come back to.
Yeah. welterweight fight, Jin Tae-ho against Valmir de Silva, and then atomweight Leah Bivens, who obviously trains with you've interviewed Leah, haven't you?
Yeah, a couple weeks ago.
Training with Angela and the Lees out of United MMA in Hawaii. It's Zebabano who lost to, I want to say it was Wonder Girl.
Wonder Girl, right? Yeah. If Gafurov is the guy who welcomes former lightweights back, then Zebabano is the woman who fights these young prospects in their MMA debut, because she fought Wonder Girl in her MMA debut, and now she has to welcome Leah Bivens in her MMA debut, and I don't see it going much better for her, to be honest.
No, it seems a little bit of a layup, perhaps, for Leah Bivens, who has got star potential. I think they see something in her. So
she did. I was talking to some of the 1PRs about her actually a little while ago, and she's. I mean, we'll see how good she is, right? She's got a solid background, good fundamentals. She's won a lot of amateur. I don't know if she's won amateur titles, but she's got a lot of amateur experience and stuff. But she's also she just speaks really well. She's one of these people who's a natural on camera and stuff, which I think is what a lot of promotions are looking for, right? Someone who can fight and also, do the other side of the business. So I think she's got a lot of potential. And if she starts winning, we'll probably be seeing a lot more of her.
All right. Well, that is the card. I've got to bring up my man, Ong. He's one-man comment machine right now. So
yeah,
respect
seriously.
to Ong. He's saying Adriano won badly in his last fight, I guess. Yeah, against the little piranha, Yu Wakamatsu. It wasn't the most impressive fight for Adriano, but he got it done. That's the important thing. Ong also saying we didn't really get to see how good Tanley is, and the Gary Tonin fight ended too quickly, but I think we did get to see how good he was, Tom. I think we saw that Tanley is a legit jiu-jitsu black belt, and then we saw he has that dim mark in the hands, like he says. He got the touch of death. I think it was a nice 55-second snapshot of what Tanley can do, and I would be worried if I'm Tang Kai, but we know Tang Kai has that power as well.
It gave me that fight with Gary Tonin and Tanley kind of gave me Fedor vibes, honestly. Like the way Fedor back in the day he was just fearless. Like he'd fight Nogueira and just like dive into Nogueira's guard. Back then Nogueira was one of the scariest jiu-jitsu guys alive, and Fedor just had no fear. He kickboxed with Krokop, and Tanley in that fight gave me that kind of vibe. Like, yeah, I know you're one of the best grapplers in the world, but he didn't care. He just second Gary was on his back, he just started throwing those punches down, and they were so accurate and so perfectly timed. He was able to stay out of danger and stay out of Gary's guard. I thought, as fast as it was and as lopsided as it was a really good representation of the kind of fighter that Tanley is. Very, very brave and like willing to take risks, but also very calculated and patient. Yeah, I thought that was perfect Tanley performance, if you ask me. Not to disagree with you, Ong, but yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Some more comments in the chat. Let us know. We're going to hang around for another 20 minutes or so. So get the comments in, get the questions in. Brian Lucero here saying, what happened to the women's atomweight division? I'm sorry to say, but it's getting more boring. It's definitely taken a backseat since the Grand Prix and that all-female card we had, obviously, in September last year, Tom. It's still chugging along, isn't it? Little bits and bits. But, yeah, we got no kind of idea when Angela is going to defend the belt against Hum. We know Hum Shohei is the number one contender, but perhaps that's about to be announced a little bit later today at this press conference in LA. I don't know.
Who knows? Yeah, I mean that Angela and Stamp fight at 1X sort of felt like a season finale for that division for sure, because you had the exciting Grand Prix and then all this action and then the really good title fight, and then it ended. And we haven't heard a ton about that division, but like you said, there are a lot of matchups that could be announced very soon. And also there is quietly a new generation coming through right now, right? We've got Victoria Lee making her way up through the ranks. Obviously Leah Bivens, who we were just talking about, is debuting this Friday. And, these women aren't going to be ranked anytime soon and certainly not fighting for the title, but it's nice to see that One Championship is, nurturing this division and making sure that there's people to replace the Stamps and the Angelas and the, Denises when when their time is over. So I think, maybe there's a lull in this division right now, but it's definitely not over, the fun in this weight class.
All right, Brian suggesting as well, how about Ritu Fogat against Denise Zamboanga? Yes. Well, I don't know what's going on with Ritu because she was taken out of the top 5 for no reason.
I think there's a reason.
Yeah. You heard me vent about that before, but Yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing that fight for sure. I think Denise is still like top 3 or yeah, I think she's number 3 now. Maybe she slipped down to 4. Definitely top 5. I'll check the rankings in a minute to make sure I'm accurate. But yeah, that's a good fight. I want to see it. Plenty of fights still we can make in this division, Tom.
Yeah, it's one of the best divisions. Actually, I mean, I'll go right out and say that it's the best weight class currently in one, just in terms of depth of talent, right? There's the top 10 women in that weight class. I would say can all beat each other on any given night, and that's something that can't be said for quite a few other divisions in one. So I would say this atomweight division is still the best in one.
Yep, Angela Lee, Jamp, Stamp Fairtex number 1, Ham, he number 2, Denise 3, and then my bugbear here, Aliona Rasahina number 4. Even though she lost to Stamp, she came into the rankings on the back of a loss about 6 months after that loss. And Jihin number 5, and Jihin deserves it. She beat Itsuki Hirata at 1x. So Jihin, I'm fine with being in that, but I'm not happy about Aliona being in there. If you're looking at it from a pure perspective, Tom,
Of course, yeah,
wins and losses,
doesn't make any sense.
It does not. More Brian, keep comments coming. Just wondering why they don't give Victoria Lee a challenging opponent. All her past opponents were obviously easy opponents. Yeah, I think the age is a thing, Tom, isn't it? And you don't want to throw Victoria in at the deep end too much. She is still a teenager, and you don't want to just throw her in against a Denise Sambuanga or what have you, or Ritu. You want to season her a little bit, get that record up, and build the hype. Angela Lee had a similar situation. I think Christian had a similar situation. They know that the Lees are money, and that you don't want to make it. You want to give Victoria a fair rise, as well, don't you? It's not fair on Victoria to perhaps go in straight away. Although she would probably say, "Well, I'm happy to fight these people," but sometimes you maybe have to. But don't worry, don't rush it. You're still young. You'll be around for a while.
Well said, man. That's the thing with Victoria. Yeah, maybe her first three fights, right? 3 opponents have been, easy. But then if you had matched her up with more experienced women, then she would have been an easy fight for them. And that's not to take away from her talent or her potential, but she is just 17, 3 fights into her career. For most women at atomweight, she'd be an easy fight, right? So she's kind of in that difficult position where you have to find her opponents who aren't cakewalks, but also aren't going to just blow her away and derail her career before it even starts. But I think now that she's 3-0 and people have seen what she can do, it's going to be harder and harder for one to keep feeding her like easy fights, as you said. So I think probably in the next fight or two, we're going to start seeing tougher challenges for her. And I have heard from a couple people now that she's thinking of going up a division to strawweight, which I think is great for her and for the division because, as everyone knows, there's really not a lot of fighters in that division. So anyone that goes up there has a much shorter road to a title shot. And also Wonder Girl is in that weight class now. So I kind of think that we may see Wonder Girl and Victoria Lee fight in MMA in the next year or two. That's my kind of prediction that I keep returning to.
Yeah, hold on that one for like January. We did our New Year's predictions, the beginning of this year. I'll be interested to go back and see what I said. I think I've got mine completely wrong. I said Angela was going to clear out. She was going to beat Ham. She was going to defend the belt against Stamp. Then she can defend against Ham. Then she was going to beat Jingnan in the trilogy and be double champ by the end of the year. I think time is running out on that prediction.
But, I can't even remember what my bold prediction was. It was probably terrible, though.
Well, what we'll do a show on January 1st, 2023. Is that the right year? Yep.
Yeah.
And then we'll revisit our predictions last year and we'll have a good laugh about how wrong we were. Or maybe someone was right. I can't remember what anyone said.
I can't even remember who we made predictions with. It was us and who else was
I think
it?
the sex guard Dylan Bowker was there.
Yeah.
And JHK perhaps.
Yeah, that'd be fun to do.
It was a fun time. A vegan Crane here saying Victoria Lee promised to take on Denise. Well, I don't know. I didn't see where she said that or what. But like Tom said, I think there's no rush. Like, let her figure out who she is as a fighter, as a human being. She's a kid. She's 17 years old, I think. She just graduated. So no rush. And that, she might be too big for the weight class. And as long as Angela's the champion atomweight, I don't think Victoria is going to be making a run for a belt, obviously. So perhaps go up to strawweight, test the waters there. I think Zhong Jingnan needs some challenges. And
Sure does.
Yes, she sure does. Keep comments, questions coming. We don't have any more, so we can hang around for another 10 minutes or so. We're going to keep it to an hour today. Otherwise, Tom, what's on your plate then? What's coming up in the world of Tom Taylor?
Well, we got this big press conference coming up later today, so I'll keep an eye on that and see if any startling information is revealed to us. Then beyond that, we got these fights on Friday, which is good. And just
things like at the ESPYs or something. I was reading
that?
So I've been catching up on emails. Like I said, I missed a couple of weeks off work because of this concussion thing. So I was going through my emails today. I finally saw these the invites to this press conference in LA, and it's taking place after the ESPYs. So it's sort of in LA at the same venue.
So it's like piggybacking off the ESPYs, sort of.
Yeah. So I don't know what the reason behind that is, or what. That's I don't know. I would have. Charles Oliveira is going to turn up, pick up his SB, throw it in the trash, and say there is a champion. His name is Charles Oliveira, and he's signed for one championship. I don't know.
Oh man! Wow.
Can he do that? Probably not. He's on the contract. I'd like to see Charles. There's a lot of fighters I'd like to see in one. You know that, Tom. I'm always kind of fantasy booking a lot of these guys and girls who I think maybe I don't get the fair treatment they deserve in the UFC.
Yeah,
I think one should be a little more proactive and perhaps trying to poach some of them. Like they need to recreate that buzz they caught with Eddie and DJ, in 2019.
And vice versa, there's fighters on either roster that would probably do better in the other organization for a whole litany of reasons. But yeah, there are a lot of people in the UFC who just aren't treated right, that may be a better fit for one. And DJ was like the perfect example of that. He's obviously gotten a little bit more respect since he came to one. And there's other fighters like that too. But right now one seems to be just kind of quietly signing kickboxers and stuff, which is cool. I saw they signed some American Muay Thai fighter the other day that I hadn't heard of before. French-Canadian kickboxer they signed recently. So I think that's the priority right now, is just kind of bulking up some of these other divisions. I don't think they're really like big game hunting right now for MMA superstars, but I wish they were.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it should be a good one. We'll be here on Friday night. I think the card starts 6:30 p.m. Singapore time, the lead card. So
early morning for me.
Yeah, poor old Tom is gonna wake up
no problem, man.
6 a.m. or something.
I like it.
Appreciate it. If you missed it, we did advertise Shannon Wertschei, one championship featherweight, as being part of the show, but he couldn't make it, a little emergency. So we're hoping to have Shannon on Friday, I think, for the main card or some of it. Obviously, card subject to change, as they say. I don't want to promise in case, but I think Tom and I will be here. You can guarantee it. We'll be here. Tom's gonna get up early. How is is it still freezing cold in Ottawa?
That's in fact, it's very hot here now. It's like 34 degrees or something today. Right. Yeah, it's finally feels like summer here, which is good. But yeah, man, I'm finding like I just hate winter so much that it's hard to even enjoy the summer now, because I know that like it's fleeting and that winter will come again. It's like how it's hard to enjoy a Sunday before a busy work week sometimes, because you know what's coming. So it's just another reason to relocate, man, somewhere tropical and
somewhere sunnier. Yeah. Well, the loose plan, I think we're both going to try and get out to Singapore for 160 and 161, provided we can actually go. I think they're selling tickets already. So I don't quote me on that, but I think that's the plan.
Yeah, my plan is a couple weeks in Singapore and then down to Phuket for a little while, and then
yeah, that's my rough plan as well. I think head down to Bangtao, reunite with the Hickman Bros and all the crew there. Maybe go see. We catch Shannon himself in the flesh.
Yeah, we can do a live podcast.
Yeah, it'd be good.
Pretty cool. Yeah.
Yeah, because if I obviously go to Singapore, I'm gonna have to do a week quarantine on the way back. They still haven't dropped that in Hong Kong. Right. So if I'm just going I'm sure it'd be awesome to be at the double header, but I'm gonna need a little bit more time outside before I do another week. Yeah, sweeten the pot. So a little trip to Phuket sounds good, Tom.
Maybe we can do another pizza preview, poolside preview, Phuket preview.
Yeah. and
Yeah.
I won't be jet lagged this time. You still will be.
I'm gonna try to plan it a little bit better this time. Arrive a little bit earlier maybe. Because last time, I don't know if it's because I've gotten older since the next most recent trip to Asia I did, but the jet lag this last time was just brutal. Like,
Same.
I mean, you saw we were both suffering. It was.
Just I was incapable of doing anything.
Yeah, and then you'd get these like spurts of energy at like 11:30 or midnight, and suddenly want to have all this fun. But
yeah. I mean, I'll be fresh, but if you get there a few days earlier, it might help.
Yeah, for sure.
You had an aborted trip to Singapore, I think.
Yeah.
Earlier this year.
Yeah, that
caught the COVID. Fully recovered now.
Fully recovered. Yeah, I never had any symptoms, which was the most frustrating part. Like, if I'm going to test positive for COVID and have big plans derailed, then at least like I want to be taken down by the virus. You know what I mean? Like, but I was
in a chokehold.
Yeah, but I was like completely. I was fine, and I'm not like a COVID denier. I just happened to be one of these people at that time I was symptomless, right? And it was kind of frustrating because like I was just going about my life over here, and I totally could have done the trip to Singapore. I wasn't sick, I wasn't suffering, but the law's the law, right, Nick?
The law, the heavy hand of the law.
That's it, man.
No one can escape it.
It's true.
All seeing, all whatever the phrase is.
Sweet Lady Justice.
Yeah. All right, we'll get 5 minutes if you have any burning questions in the chat. Otherwise, we're sort of wrapping up a little bit. Friday night? No, it's not. It's Wednesday.
What about this, Nick? Let's wrap it up with this. What are like 2 fights you want to see in one championship before the year's over? We're about the halfway point now. Hasn't been a lot announced for the last half of the year. Is there anything that you feel like needs to happen before 2023? Any storylines that need to be resolved? Yes, rematches that need to be settled?
There is a big story that needs to be resolved. Just so I win the prediction contest, I need Angela Lee against Ham So-hee like now, and then I need Angela against Zhong Jingnan by the end of the year, and then I win the prediction contest when Angela stands tall with 2 belts aloft in the air and says, "I am the champ, the mom champ, whatever you want to picture."
Yeah.
Then I win, and you all just say he predicted. I predict these things, as Conor McGregor said.
Yeah.
Then I'm happy. Yeah.
That's a good prediction. I feel like a very plausible prediction. I don't remember what mine was, but I think it was like way more outrageous than that. Probably. Chattery fighting or something.
I'm interested to go back and watch it, actually.
Yeah. I can't remember what I said, but
yeah. There may have been a couple of beers involved.
Probably so, yeah.
Maybe not for you. Would have been early, but who knows?
Secretive.
Yeah. We got 4 minutes roughly. If you have any burning questions, otherwise, I'm just gonna say, Tom, what's the rest of your week look like? You got any interviews lined up? I think we're gonna have we got some new interviews on the channel from the pre-fight interviews. Andrew Whitelaw, of course, the main man back. Check those out. We put up 4 already. I'm holding a couple more for tomorrow just to space it out. So we've already got Reinier de Ridder and Bigdash in a face-off thing, and you got Janet Todd on there. I've also put up Ariel Sexton, Bokang Masinyani. Tomorrow I'll put up Hiroba Minowa and Jiang Pai Man. And then I don't know if we're going to get any kind of footage from this press conference. I doubt it. I don't know. I'm still sort of iffy on what time it actually is.
I don't know either. It's not been particularly clear, but
we'll have the weigh-ins and all the fun that brings. Tomorrow, I think.
Is that tomorrow? Yeah,
must
right.
Be.
Yeah.
So there's always some drama there, which like 5 people will miss and
fail hydration tests.
So tune in to scmp.com/MMA. We'll have a write-up hopefully on that, and then otherwise we'll be back for fight night. I'll try and start things off around about 6 p.m. Singapore time. Tom can join in whenever he's woken up.
I can get up for that. That's no big deal. 6 isn't too bad.
If you want to miss the first,
I want to see. I want to see the Leah Bivens fight.
Oh yeah.
Although I guess the question is, do I want to be on camera right after waking up? That's the conundrum, right?
You could turn off the visuals. Just have the audio.
I don't want to deprive people of my charming mug.
I know, and that beautiful beige background.
Oh yeah, I know. I like to keep it really exciting back here. You know.
Yeah. Well, it should be a good card. Not the biggest on paper, but as we always say, Tom, one championship tend to deliver whatever the
Yeah,
card. I
you can
think.
always count on one for some good action. You know, it's I don't know if it's just the breadth of sports they have on each event. You know, with the kickboxing, the Muay Thai, and the MMA and stuff, or just the fighters they've signed. But for whatever reason, one championship cards seem to deliver pretty consistently. So hopefully, there's some good action.
Because you got 4-ounce Muay Thai gloves.
That's it, man. Yeah.
You're guaranteed finishes. So look, we'll be here. We'll be here all night for that. It'll still be a good card. It may not look as hype on paper, but trust me, it'll be fun. Come join the fun.
It'll be great. Ariel Sexton's fighting. Come on.
What more do you need? The Sexmeister, Ariel Sexton. I don't know.
The Sexmeister.
Yeah.
It should be.
Even sexier than Dylan Bowker.
Well, let's not get ahead of ourselves here. Jeez. Okay.
Yeah. So we'll be back. We'll be with you all through the fight card, and then hopefully gonna have Shannon as well for a little bit, and then we'll do a little bit of a recap at the end as well. Some couple of articles may go online, scmp.com/MMA. Check it out. Other than that, yeah, we'll see you then. There's a dog. Are you got a dog now, Sam?
I don't have a dog. That's outside. I'm surprised you can hear that actually, but
I'm picking it up loud and clear.
Oh man, sorry about that.
I thought you added to the zoo. You got a cat there?
No more pets, man. That's enough of a headache having one.
All right. Yeah. Vegan Crane, post the fights cards on your YouTube community spot. Good idea.
There's a dog.
I don't know how to do that. So maybe Tom can figure that out.
I what's a community spot?
Yeah,
clearly we're tech-savvy young men here.
I did one community post once. I think it's still up. About 2 years ago, about Daniel Cormier being on the show. January 2021. Yeah, okay. We need to update that. Yeah, maybe we can do that. Deacon Crane is giving us some good advice here. We should get a little bit more active in the community. Let's do it. We're still working on the social, aren't we, Tom? It's kind of a work in progress.
Yeah, it's a lot for two guys to juggle. Away.
Yeah, you've been doing a great job on Instagram, especially. Yeah, we're getting a lot of interaction there. A lot of fighters now following our boring channel,
sharing and stuff.
Yeah. But I've got some big things coming for the Instagram. We're going to step it up. I think if we're in Singapore, you can expect some engaging on the ground content from yours truly, Tom and Nick. We're going to really bring you behind the scenes.
Oh yeah,
you can count on that. Provided Tom's not too jet lagged. You know,
no, never too jet lagged to get behind the scenes, man.
Yeah, right, diving right in that scene.
Exactly, right behind it, man. Yeah, I'll see the scene and then just come around behind it. Yeah,
the Bugis Village Bugis Hotel.
I wonder if that's where we'll stay.
I presume it will be. All right, we are out of time here. Post-fight podcast. One more in the books. As I said, we'll be back Friday night, 6 p.m. I'll try and get things started. Singapore time, Hong Kong time. It might be 6:15. You never know. Friday's a tough day, but it's been a pleasure, Tom. Thank you.
My pleasure,
where can everyone find you? I forgot to put your
it's all right.
Handle on.
Tom Tay MMA on Twitter. SCMP is the place where the writing is. And more interviews and whatnot coming to the SCMP Martial Arts YouTube in the coming days.
Absolutely.
Yeah, man.
And you can find me, Nico at SCMP. I haven't updated much in a while, but life's been testing. Yeah. Concussions, staph infections, what have you.
Yeah, man. You're really life's putting you through the ringer with these injuries and stuff, eh? Life of a fighter. Wars. Yeah. Exactly.
Without the fights. Yeah. Yeah. All right, that's it. All right, I hope you all enjoyed it. Thank you for watching, liking, subscribing. If you haven't already, please like and subscribe. You see the scrolling yellow ticker there? Do it. It helps us. Give us a like, give us a subscribe. We are back up and running. One championship is back up and running. Finally, after what feels like forever, we have another one championship card. 159 goes down Friday night, Singapore, July 2022. Let's do it. I'll see you here on Friday. Be there or be square. For Tom Taylor, I'm Nick Atkin. See you on Friday. Thank you so much.